Uh-oh. It's gonna be a crazy f***ing 4 years, bro. Dude, there's just so many evil people in this room right now that provenly are f***ing evil. I just want to make that point that obviously democracy is great and all, and this is tradition and everything, but I think it's healthy as a citizen to always criticize your government, right? And the people in this room, everybody should know in this chat, right, are responsible for a lot of bad things. Peter Thiel is sitting somewhere right now, like the fucking game master in Squid Game. He's sipping a whiskey, man. He got his boy into the vice presidency, bro. And he might actually become president one day. If you ever have time, guys, Google Peter Thiel. Google who that is. Figure that out. Peter Thiel built him up and put him into this position. It's the creepiest shit on earth to me. Often you guys think I'm a... Maybe you don't agree with me, but I think this is a very sad thing. Google CEO. Why is all these CEOs there? Why? Why is there not war heroes or fucking teachers? The fucking FIFA boss right there, who provenly sold the World Cup to the Saudis, bro. The events will one day lead USA. They're already setting him up to one day obviously run for the main office. I have a little bit of a conspiracy theory. I'm gonna say something now. Let's see if I'm right in 4 years. Clip it, so when it happens, I look like a genius. Donald Trump is gonna die in these 4 years. But not from natural causes. And then J.D. Vance, the puppet of Peter Thiel, will lead the strongest country in the world. And they have their puppet exactly where they need it. Look at Trump, he's like, man, I want to play golf. Biden is sleeping! It happened! He's gone! He's actually gone! He's back, he's back. He's back. Oh, he has a hard time, though. He has a hard time keeping it up. Biden pardoned his whole family 20 minutes ago? That's not true. Is that? Joe Biden pardons Fauci, Milei, and the January 6th committee in effort to guard them against Trump's revenge. How is that a fucking government anymore? Where you just throw out pardons like that. I feel like this is a tipping point in history that we will go back for a long time. This is where it began. I want to say, I think we're too doomerish. A lot of us are doomers. This is where it begins, blah, blah, blah. But you cannot deny anyone with a fucking soul and a bit of IQ that this has a very bitter taste, what you're watching here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the news. I'm TommyKay, and this is the news. Oh. My main camera died again. Whatever, welcome to the news. We're doing a little news segment. We're watching a little bit of the news. We're gonna start with Andrew Callaghan's fast thing. Also, we have, I think they're already showing who they truly are. We had Musk, Hitler.
Thank you.
You could say it's because it's autistic. You could say that it's autism. But you cannot excuse everything. But you can't excuse everything, yeah. He is autistic and fucked up, but a man in this position should know. He should fucking know. This is so insane what even is our country. This is scary because he has so much power, but it's also so pathetic at the same time. Dude is literally just an edgy 14-year-old with a lot of money. Must be a relief to be able to show who he really is now. Imagine fighting World War II and then seeing this. Wow. Good comments though. It's like people are waking slowly up, man, to this insanity, man. He was a HOI4 gamer the whole time. They went faster, so the justification on Greenland is faster. The thing is though, I like to put this into him being dorky, because I don't know, why would you do the Hitler salute if you're an American? Like, why would you do that? That makes no sense. My main emotion in all of this is, it has to be a signal that the EU needs to fucking get the shit together. We gotta unite the European Union. This fucking Brexit was the dumbest shit on earth. We need to unite Europe. We have to become strong together so we're not that dependent on these maniacs in the USA. Obviously, this is why Elon Musk is influencing our politics. They don't want a united EU. They know that a united EU is not good for them. That's why they want the destabilizers like the AfD and the right-wingers to be strong. And yeah, Brexit is just the saddest shit on earth, man. This is my main emotion. EU needs to get their shit together.
Happy days are here again.
This is We the Sequel, We the People, round 2, as we take back our capital.
He pardoned all Capitol rioters instantly. Did you hear that? If you trespassed into the Capitol building and went the fuck in there, you're now pardoned.
The country after January 6th and all of those people running in jail for no reason. Most of them.
I'm ready to see gas prices under $1.50. I'm ready to see the Federal Reserve abolished. I'm ready to see Trump buy 1 million Bitcoins for a strategic reserve for us Americans to have. I'm ready to see the northern, the southern borders secure. I'm ready to see inflation go down to 0. I'm ready for all the Jan 6 prisoners not only to get a pardon, but to get multi-million-dollar payouts.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to go to Greenland and have a nice hotel stay at a future Trump tower that gets built there.
The craziness, chat, is that I want you to listen to me. The human race has reached a level where we are crazier than GTA. Back in the day, you would play GTA and be like, oh, this is funny. It's a nice caricature of real life. We are now crazier than GTA. You understand that? No GTA writer could make this shit up. That's the level we achieved. We're crazier than South Park.
I'm really honestly gonna be proud to see our president able to walk and not crap himself in front of the world stage. It's nice to have a president that can speak English without mumbling. It's nice to have a president that the people on the world stage actually respect and maybe fear a little bit. Remember when he did the thing with Rocket Man? People said he was gonna start World War III. He's like, Rocket Man, I've got the biggest rocket. I got a bigger button. I've got a bigger rocket.
Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime.
And everyone said that was going to start World War III. But did it? No, it actually backed off Rocket Man. And in the end, they ended up shaking hands, which had never been done before. Never been done in the history of the world. And it's that strength that you...
It's all very, very sad, but it's also very, very funny, man. It's also very funny. He fucking pulls Kim Jong-un.
You need when you come into a negotiation. You don't need some guy bumbling and barely able to walk. At least Trump has swagger, he's got Americana, and he's a badass.
I definitely think he's learned a lot. I think, you know, while we definitely didn't want the last 4 years, I think he's benefited from 4 years of just...
These poor kids, man. Dad, what are we doing today? Can I play Minecraft? No, we're driving to Washington. And we're gonna stand in front of the White House and praise Donald Trump. And she's like, dude, I just want to watch TikTok.
And now he's got the right team assembled. He knows how to move things around. And I think we're going to see real meaningful change.
That's the Capitol building.
Yeah, I'm ready
Looks
for
like the
Elon
White House, man.
To really cut most of the 2 million plus jobs in the federal government out of the equation, and I'm ready to see over 400 bureaucracies here in the United States.
That's what I explained a long time ago with populism. What is populism? We see it in Germany a lot. A populist always, how do I explain? Expands the border of what's possible. In Germany, we have the thing, and no one can deny this, the AfD is using Nazi speech. They're using certain things the Nazis used, like alles für Deutschland, alles Weidel, alles für Deutschland. It's like Nazi shit, right? And they're not dumb. They're doing that to be like, they're saying something bad, they're doing something bad, and everybody is offended, right? But then everything calms down after 2 days, and then they push another thing. And step by step, they create this room where you can be crazy. Imagine this shit would have happened 10 years ago. It would have been fucking crazy, right? But now it's like, okay. That's populism. They're making this more and more normal. And normies that can't think for 2 seconds will not see the issue with that anymore.
United States that are like a cancer in God's U.S. Republic, completely abolished. The IRS needs to be abolished.
I would like to see, say, Department of Education gone. I would like...
I don't know what to say. You want me to react like a reaction streamer? What?
to see ATF gone.
Why do you want the Department of Education shut down?
Before the Department of Education, we were ranked 9th in the world. Or no, we were 7th in the world.
In education.
Yes, in education. After the Department of Education, I think today, we are about 14th. No Child Left Behind.
Not too bad.
Drastically dumbed down. The curriculums made it so that students couldn't fail. And then every time the curriculum is seen to be upgraded, the teachers union shut it down.
Interesting. Do you think teachers should be paid more?
No.
Why?
There shouldn't be a public education system.
And I'm ready for Donald John Trump to make Bitcoins a legal tender here, like what has happened in El Salvador with Nayib Bukele.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
What's the benefit of having a cryptocurrency reserve?
Well, with Bitcoins, we have to adapt to that as Americans. We have to have that, because if we don't, we're going to be very, very far behind of other nations, like El Salvador, who's leading the way.
Every time I watch his videos, I just can't say anything. I normally talk a lot, you know me. I have a lot to say. I don't know what to say, man.
Bitcoin, because of pump and dump schemes. Like, did you see the Hawk-Tua coin?
Right, that's a huge problem. We have Bitcoins, they're incredible, and then we have all the scam coins out there. And there are so many altcoins that are just wreaking havoc.
Yeah, because it's
life
hard.
after life after life.
It's hard because you want to have a free market, but then the crypto world is
Didn't your president just make a pump and dump meme coin 2 days ago?
just so full of scams. It's like you need some element of regulation.
Right, there needs to be some type of thing put in, and hopefully Trump can get it done.
In my grocery store, I go to the grocery store every day, and there's an American, a young American student. He lives in Germany now, though. And I always talk to him about America, and he always says, shut up, I don't want to listen. I'm so happy I live in Germany now. I didn't watch the inauguration. I talked to him this morning about the inauguration. He's like, fuck this, I don't give a fuck, man. Leave me alone with that shit.
I'm actually Cuban. I was born in Cuba. I came in 2011. First terms for Trump. Didn't really agree with him. Didn't really agree with the way that he spoke about immigrants, especially I was not citizen yet. I didn't think about voting on the second term, but something happened. And I saw that Biden took like such a comfortable back seat during July 6th back in Cuba. I don't know if you've heard about the situation.
Tell us about it.
So I think it was 2022. There was a massive revolt all around the island. All the cities were taking to the streets, protesting that they were sick and tired. There's no food. There's no power. The government basically hoards all the resources, and instead of distributing them like they're supposed to, you know, communism.
Do you think that people are this stupid or what? I can understand them. They're done with all the shit going on. I agree with you. I understand you. I understand that millions of people in the Western world are tired and exhausted and done with all this shit. But you cannot deny that what I'm saying now is a fact. They're going the wrong way, lots of them. And that's what the rich want. They don't see the real problem. They think an AfD is gonna save them. A Le Pen is gonna save them. A fucking Trump is gonna save them. They are being misinformed by the media that belongs to the rich, so they can lead to more instability, so we cannot unite as the people and take care of these rich countries. I fully understand that people are sick and tired of all the bullshit, but they're going the wrong way. The media is not pro-AfD though. Very, very wrong. Not true. Axel Springer Verlag, the biggest media conglomerate in Germany, is outspokenly pro-right wing. They are massively attacking the Greens in the papers. Böhmermann did a great stint on this, that Axel Springer, Die Welt, Bild Zeitung are massively supporting conservative stuff as CDU and most importantly AfD. Not true.
Videos of police breaking into like the house of one of the organization leaders. They shot him right in front of the family. You can see like the blood running. It's really sad. I was crying throughout that entire play. Like it was.
And how did Biden respond to the July 6th events?
He didn't do anything. He basically said we're not gonna touch anything revolving around Cuba.
How long did it take you to achieve citizenship?
Well, for me, it was around 6-7 years. It's not hard. You just gotta know history, learn the history. They literally give you a booklet with the answers. Jesus.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
There's a lot of discourse about trans people right now. All of the talking points being made are word for word identical to what they were 20 years ago or 30 years ago about gay people.
It's like we have mutants living among us on planet Earth.
I think
Christ,
if kids want to change their name, explore gender identity, do whatever the fuck they want, that's fine. If they at some point want to do something medical about it, then they can have an informed conversation with a parent and or medical professional.
Well, a lot of these trans people are X-Men.
What do you think the next 4 years pose to that?
I mean, Trump said he's going to sign an executive order on day one.
I don't understand. You know, I studied law a little bit, right? In law school, I learned a bit how a government works and stuff like that. And one thing that makes the US such a third world country is your laws are so terrible. How is it that a president can pardon everyone on a federal crime level? I get the historical meaning. It was to the presidents back when they were honorable people. They were supposed to pardon people that have been wrongfully convicted of the other government. But now it's being abused, right? How can it be that you have executive orders? How is it that a single human being with approval of the Senate, which they often own, I think now the Republicans own the Senate over 51%, can decide who the fucking Supreme Court judges, and they're voted for life. They're not even 4 years or something. Imagine you would have a rotation in Supreme Court judges. You fucking would rotate them, you know? In your country, you have juries making big decisions. A jury of civilians that is easily manipulated decides if someone is guilty or not. There's all these things that in your country need such a reform, dude. Like they're relics of old history from the past, but now with the new world, it's being very, very abused.
There's a pretty imminent threat of getting kicked out of the military, losing gender-inclusive care. People are going to die from this, and that's really shitty.
Transgender students in sports became a top issue on the 2024 campaign.
The worst thing is these people eat pork.
And now a top priority of House Republicans in the new Congress.
The only time that the general public started caring about trans people in women's sports was when they started question mark winning. Like Leah Thomas isn't even, she's a good swimmer. she's not the best.
Yeah.
There's no epidemic of men going into women's...
It's debatable. I'm pro-transgender. I love the transgenders. I think transgenderism is a small thing in society that's pushed out of proportion for their own agendas. That's what the right does. But I have a bit of a different opinion about that sports thing.
Sports and sweeping...
You don't see a lot of girls transitioning to men going into men's sports.
Like, that's not happening?
Yeah.
And also being
I
on
love the
estrogen
trans.
long
They're everywhere.
term
Look in chat.
actually, like, weakens your physical abilities. And medical transition is often necessary to compete.
The problem is it would be nice if we could
sport.
talk about that whole problem with transgender people in sports on a civilian level, like normal people, but that's already kind of out the window, isn't it?
Sports for trans people, so like...
Hatred has won, and that is depressing. I cried on election day. I know so many other women who cried on election day.
Americans have great dental care, though. They all have great teeth.
This
The Europeans,
means that so
man,
many
they were a
people
bit
have to go
behind
into
there.
hiding, can't be themselves. People are, like Grant said, people are gonna die. People are. It's just I'm legitimately terrified for my immigrant friends. I stay awake at night thinking about them, thinking about trans people. Whether or not you think that gay people should exist, trans people should exist.
Europeans better dental care. You can take 1,000 random Americans, 1,000 random Europeans. The Americans will have the on average better teeth. That's a fact, bro.
What I hope we can all come together and understand is
Who
that
cares if the teeth
humans
are fake? They
humans.
still look good.
Maybe they did commit a crime.
Whole
Maybe
world
they do
is fake, but
something
looks
that you
good.
don't agree with. They are still people. The mass deportations of immigrants.
Hey, Biden supported the Vietnam War and killed a lot
The mass deportation of immigrants
Biden supported the Vietnam War. What a great...
is
Biden's
going to kill people.
Right?
Yeah, Biden's shit.
Okay, great.
What are your thoughts on the whole like mass deportation issue?
I wonder how that legally works, mass deportation. The executive branch has broad discretion in enforcing immigration laws. This means the president can prioritize certain groups. The president can issue executive orders to direct immigration enforcement priorities. He can tell what the priority should be. Okay, because the big issue of mass deportations, like the AFD wants to do in Germany, is that even if you deport people, you're not fast enough. Germany has an intake of 940 immigrants on average per day. To deport 941 immigrants per day, it's such a massive strain on the taxpayer. Due process protection limits. The Fifth Amendment, even undocumented immigrants have constitutional rights, including due process rights. This requires that individuals have an opportunity for hearing. That's what I mean. In reality, something people don't really like anymore, if you want to deport somebody, there's a due process, which takes months. If they have good lawyers, that takes months. It's not so easy. I'm kind of agreeing with if you're an illegal, you kind of need to go. That's a fucking law. Again, I always try to be reason and logic. If the law says you're not legally in the country, you kind of gotta go. It's just in reality, it's hard to do that logistically. And one thing you will have to do first is to reform the logistics of it, reform the whole bureaucracy around it. Practical feasibly. Oh, there we go. I just talked about this. Scale. Deporting millions of individuals will require unprecedented resources. Oh! TommyKay is right. What? Including manpower, detention facilities, transportation, and coordination across agencies. Large-scale deportations could also disrupt industries like agriculture, construction, and service sectors that rely on illegal immigrant labor. Many undocumented immigrants have US-born children and mixed status families raising humanitarian and political concerns. That's what I'm always just trying to talk about, you know? It's not that fucking easy. You can't just fucking, mass deport.
Mass deportation. My wife is Mexican. Like I said, I live by the border. I love the Mexican people. There's a lot of good people. Definitely start at the top, meaning the worst, and work our way down. You know, necessarily not so many, all these little, you know, people with their families or people second generation, this and that. You know, let's not get too carried away. We'll start with the worst and we'll work our way down. When you got murderers and rapists in San Diego County, we have not just a sanctuary city, we have a super sanctuary.
And another big issue that I learned of when I was in the ministry, true story, when I was studying law, I had to do 1 month internship at the immigration station of my city. And one thing I learned there is that even two things. I fucking had this in real life. I'm not just fucking talking. I was there in real life. There's two issues. In Germany, which is kind of retarded, you have a deportation date. So we had Afghanistan people that were here illegally and we had to deport them. Legally, this is not anything evil, Twitch admin. This is a normal due process. Nothing fucking fascist or anything. The problem is, they will explain to me. What happens is, you get a piece of paper, right? The Afghanistan guy who like sells drugs and shit, right? Who's like a bit of a criminal, he gets a piece of paper. On the 6th of January at 15 o'clock, we are gonna deport you. So what the fuck do you think this guy is doing? So they tell me, in the morning on the 6th of February, whatever the fuck, the police knocks at his door. Mr. Ali Baghdadi Baboubi, you are about to be deported. Hello? Ali? Hello? No one is there. What's going on? He fucking left Well, who blames him? I will do the same. He's fucking gone. And what he will do is he will be undercover for 6 months with his fucking friends, his mafia friends, and then he will reappear in a different state of Germany, which restarts the due process of you have to do the papers first, the lawyers, etc. So that's a fucking issue. Another thing, I just saw a documentary on this. Maybe the Germans saw it. Spiegel TV. They talked about the Afghanistan mafia or Syrian mafia in Germany. How a big problem is that when they deport these very evil guys, like these mafia people, they come back the next day. They have secret routes. They're not dumb. They have connections. You deport them on taxpayer money back to Syria. They're back in 1 week because they have a safe route. And suddenly they're in Hamburg again. Just like hiding in their own fucking mansions and shit. I don't know how to fix it. You will need some kind of reform. And maybe that sounds a bit conservative, but you will have to destroy the bureaucracy of it. You will have to make it easier to deport people. Which will mean you will have to limit their rights. Like that you don't send them a paper anymore that says you're gonna get deported on this day.
Where not only can you not tell ICE if there's a problem with an illegal alien, you can't tell them even if they committed armed robbery or rape. They're like, no, what about the poor rapists and armed robbery? We can't send them back. We can't tell ICE.
We will not allow our local resources.
We will not allow our local resources to be used for actions that separate families, harm community trust, or divert critical local resources away from addressing our most pressing challenges. Nora Vargas, chair of the Santiago Country Board of Supervisors.
To be used for actions that separate families.
So they don't want to use the resources, which is what they calling ICE, just because they want to
limit the rights of people breaking the law. That's wild. That's a fundamental question of what democracy should be. If someone is a proven criminal, should we limit their rights? Which we are. We're taking away the right of freedom. Article 2 in Germany. We're putting them into prison. The problem is, and this is where I like to sound like a Democrat, when you start limiting people's rights, where does it fucking stop? If you ever do something wrong in your life, you want them to completely fuck you in the ass? You have no rights left? You're fucking gone? Where do you go with this, man? You know, where do you start this? I'm personally, dude, this is my personal. There's always the facts and personal opinion. My personal opinion is yes. If you're proven by a court of law that you did, how to say it in English, if you do a bad crime, if you are, through everything the state offers you, free instances, America and Germany, we have free instances of courts, local court, state court, and Supreme Court. If it is proven by court that you are a felon, that you have done one of these bad crimes, robbery, theft, rape, whatever the fuck, then yes, your rights should be limited. Yeah, which is the case in the world. You take away their freedom and stuff.
Protect illegal aliens.
But that's what we're doing. We're actually
the people that are doing these laws are actually paid off by the cartel. It's a crazy conspiracy. I know. You know, it's one thing having immigration, but when you just have a total open border, and then when they come in, they get free health care, they get free cell phones, they get free hotels when our homeless people are living on the streets. I mean, come on, people. We got to do this legally, right?
We need to have a very solid immigration policy so we keep attracting the best talents across the world to this land to build it up, build the economy, build companies, hire employee people, you know. I pay tax, and I want my tax to benefit my neighbors, my country, and my children, and my neighborhood, my community, right? I don't want other countries to take advantage.
Sounds very reasonable. It sounds like a reasonable woman.
Scientology's a cult. Thank you.
Are you a Scientologist?
You have a moment of someone actually saying something, and then, yeah.
Do you think that we're Scientologists?
Nope, just getting the message out, that's all.
Okay, what's the worst thing Scientology's done?
They use children for auditing, so 8, 9, 10-year-olds are asking grown men about masturbation and anal sex.
That's not good. Do you feel like...
Hashtag save the children.
Are you hoping for like exoneration?
Hashtag save the children, man. That was a chat moment.
For the January 6th people?
In the US, a felon cannot vote, but can be president.
am indeed. In fact, I was down there at the vigil for the J6ers down on Freedom Corner with Mickey Withoff, who is Ashley Babbitt's mother. In fact, I have Ashley Babbitt's ashes in this necklace right here.
What the fuck is happening? What? He has what? This is GTA, bro. I don't know.
This necklace with Ashley Babbitt's ashes. I made it for her and her husband.
This morning, new details about 35-year-old Ashley Babbitt, who was shot and killed by a Capitol police officer.
And I was down there and I was told...
Oh, she was a Capitol rioter. I mean, don't trespass into the Capitol? You're literally doing a revolution? You might get shot? Sorry, man, but
that the word on the street is the guards were told to stay late tonight to help release the prisoners.
Are they being held in D.C. right now?
Oh, yeah. They're not far from here, a few miles down the
Dude, imagine that prison right now, man. There's gonna be a party there, man. They're freeing all these lunatics.
street.
It's like I'm watching The Boys, man.
Much, Matt. Any message to the American people before we go?
You should go watch his movie. This guy makes some great documentaries. I went to his premiere. It was freaking awesome. Thanks, brother.
Oh, yeah. We are surrounded by ancient pagan symbols, from the obelisk there, which may be the biggest obelisk in the world, to the dome there of ISIS, the ever-pregnant womb of ISIS, in the occult mindset, that's what that is. With the apotheosis of George Washington, which is that mural inside the dome.
I always thought the Washington Monument is a tribute to Bill Clinton. It's a good joke, right? It's a good joke. You got to think about that for a second.
Represents that Masonic future that so many Masons are into having, where they...
Actually, funny enough, I was on the highway. Last weekend, I was on the highway for 90 minutes, and I listened to a podcast explaining the Freemasons. It was a big podcast about the Freemasons. And it was about that the Freemasons are kind of a group of people that want good, they want to help society, but then there was a guy who got mad that they kicked him. He got so mad, he wrote a book about them, and he was lying that they're Satanists and that they eat children. And then the Pope, this was in the 1800s, the Pope invited that French guy and said, dude, is it true? Are they the devil? Yeah, they're the devil. And since then, this thing happened that the Freemasons are like super evil. And then before he died, the French guy who wrote the book said, I lied, they're actually kind of normal.
Into some type of paradise. It's not from the Bible, and I'm totally against all that. I'm standing here for Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the Lord of the heavens and the earth.
Wait, I'm a bit confused. You're here for Jesus Christ?
I had a Freemason peeping in my pub. I worked in the UK at the time. I googled Freemasons once. It's just like a bunch of old white dudes hanging out together and giving themselves handjobs and advantages. Like,
however, the pagan symbology is also important.
Well, it's not important to me, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Because the plan that was
they're just like white Jewish men.
To build Washington, D.C. was a plan, in fact, to honor the ancient gods. And the plan was not to honor Jesus Christ. The people who designed this place, the main people, were into it to honor their Masonic god, who is Satan, recorded about in the King James Version Bible.
Who do you think was controlling Biden behind the scenes?
Obama was definitely a key player. But again,
you have to understand, right? There's thousands of people, and he finds that one lunatic, right? This doesn't really represent most people.
My research, Obama is more like a manager in Satan's hierarchy. He's got the World Economic Forum, he's got the UN, he's got King Charles and the monarchy. He's got so many different groups that have extreme amounts of power.
He must be so tired of this, man. This must be so tiresome, bro.
Yeah. Do you think that there's kind of like a second deep state forming around Trump?
Well, just protect Trump from having...
I love it. That's why I love Andrew Callaghan. What a cut. It goes from memery, like fucking uneducated bullshit, and he says, do you think there's a second deep state forming? And look at that cut. And that's why this is the best YouTube channel on earth right now. What a cut. What a fucking cut, man. Well done.
Trump from having that happen, God. Please help him not to make the same mistakes that he made when he was 43rd president of the United States, God.
Where do you get most of your news and information from?
X. Not just Infowars.com without...
Beautiful cuts. Man, that's very good editing. Holy shit.
Did you use X back when it was in control of Jack Dorsey?
Well, I did, and I got suspended multiple times.
Was that kind of a wake-up call for you? Just having your account taken down multiple times?
I was...
The deep state isn't even deep, it's fully on the surface now.
Really aware of that type of thing back in 2013 when I started listening to Alex Jones. He started to wake me up to how things really work in a general way.
Alex Jones waking me up.
We're in a war, and there's a group called the Globalists, and they want to...
There's this group, all the non-subs, and they're turning our kids gay. We got her, the non-subs are very dangerous people. Very dangerous.
Depopulate the earth, and they want to get it down to under 500 million people.
Yeah.
And they want to bring in their new world order system, their technotronic state where you can't buy or sell without the mark of the beast.
I can't listen to this much longer. This is exhausting. Listening to people like this is just exhausting after a while. Trump withdraws US from the WHO 8 hours ago. Public health experts say the US withdrawal from the WHO would undermine the nation's standing as a global health leader and make it harder to fight the next pandemic. In an executive order, dude, everything is a fucking order. Issued about 8 hours after he took office, Mr. Trump cited a string of reasons for the withdrawal, including the WHO's mishandling of COVID-19. Insanity. And the failure to adopt urgent needed reforms. He said the agency demands unfair payments from the United States and complained that China pays less. Here's a point there. The move was not unexpected. Mr. Trump was rallying against the WHO since 2020 when he attacked the agency over its approach to the coronavirus pandemic. Oh yeah, we should have, he said we should inject bleach and we need to do this fucking horse pill, right? Well, it's going well. It's going well, guys. So I'm eating chicken wings and we're watching videos. Let's go.
United States.
Oh my God.
On his first day in the White House, he's expected to begin...
Sometimes I think Should I eat the food first and then stream to not annoy you guys? But then I feel like, oh, fuck you, man.
And his team are reportedly exploring the existing Section 2. His intention to immediately reverse the prosecutions of his supporters who stormed the Capitol on January. Days will serve as a test of how far Trump can operate unilaterally without support from Congress. 99. Staying in the US now, where category includes women. Strike, the Iraqi army explained that those who were killed and wounded. Like a lot of things, this whole situation is very much
Shit, sorry, I'm almost done. Final video. I'm almost done eating.